Ladies and gentlemen, we are now into the third hour of this worldwide broadcast. It, of course, is Thursday, the 28th day of July, 2011. And I am going to be back live tonight at prisonplanet.tv at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to start having really quite often, at least a few times a month, special reports with special guests. And I'm going to have Mike Adams in studio with me tonight in the new studio, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, streaming live for prisonplanet.tv viewers. Then, starting Thursday, September 1st, we're going to kick off our 5-day-a-week, 30-minute news transmission. And we'll be announcing the name and more at the start of next month at 7 p.m. Monday through Friday on top of the 3-hour radio show each day. So very exciting, but I hope that you'll join us tonight at prisonplanet.tv at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're not a member, it is your prisonplanet.tv memberships that fund so much of what we do here on this operation. And then we're more than happy for the TV show after it's aired live, then be leaked out onto the web to tens of millions of people. That's our goal. But it is the members that get the higher quality streams, the larger archives, that get the information first. And you really are our backers at prisonplanet.tv. And we couldn't have done all of this without you. And if you're not a member or let your membership lapse, we're adding more and more features to prisonplanet.tv. And a few months after the TV show launches, we're going to keep prisonplanet.tv, but we're also going to create a whole new platform that's going to have the special reports, my reports live on the road, the behind-the-scenes stuff, and the nightly TV show separately. And so everything that's on prisonplanet.tv is going to be cloned over to the new site, and then we'll give you a passcode of your prisonplanet.tv member to the new site. So basically with a membership, you're going to end up getting both sites. So you can sign up at either or and get the membership to both. But I frankly want a totally new platform. Prisonplanet.tv has been reworked, and it's great, but we're going to have a totally new, it's easier to start over from scratch platform, and then we'll have both, operating out in the future, which is always my way of doing things. We just add more, and we like to have backups, redundancy, because every few months we have a problem with Infowars.com. Like yesterday, it was down off and on. Well, we had prisonplanet.com. And so it's all about getting the information out. Now, for the rest of the hour, we're talking to Sheriff Richard-Mack. Last time I saw him was late last year to a packed house that we spoke to out in Santa Cruz, California. Former sheriff of Graham County, Arizona, longtime crusader for freedom of individual rights. In '94, he filed a lawsuit challenging the Brady Bill to stop the federal government from forcing another undue mandate down our throats, and he won. He lectures and gives seminars on constitutional issues relating to gun control, law enforcement, states' rights, the farce otherwise known as the drug war, and the oath of office, sheriff-mack.com. Sheriff Richard Mack, great to have you here in studio with us.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here. I guess you know now I'm a Texan, fellow Texan here. But I want to make sure that everybody knows I'm a Alamo Texan. I really believe in freedom. I believe in standing up for freedom. And these other Texans that continue to say they're Texans, and yet they back down from threats of the federal government. Even state congressman or state rep Dan Patrick said, hey, if you tell us to back down, especially the federal government, that makes us even all the stronger. And that's really what Texas is about to me. Texas independence and the spirit of the Alamo, and remember the Alamo. That's
I'm not knocking folks moving to New Hampshire to have their Free State Project, but give me a break, folks. Austin is in the media says Austin's this socialist paradise. No, there's a tiny group for at least 20 years with fraudulent election machines robbing everybody here in Austin. But the people of Austin are great folks.
Yeah, and this is a great state. I love it, and my wife and I are really glad to be here. We live in Fredericksburg, which is a great town, and the Patriots of Gillespie County got me there, and I work with them, and I couldn't be happier about it, and happy to be here in your studio. This is a great setup you got here.
The word is you're building up to what, run for sheriff out there?
That is the rumor, but it's not the truth. It's not. I'm too busy doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. You're an activist all over the country.
All over the country. I just got back from Indiana, then Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and I was very active working with some sheriffs there. They were having their convention at the same place I was speaking. There's some good sheriffs out there too. And then I just finished in Mount Rushmore in Rapid City, South Dakota, and we did Sioux Falls. Then I got home, and then my wife's actually going with me on my trip coming up because we're going to spend a few days in Florida because we're doing some great events there. And I have to tell you, I'm speaking at the TSA rally in Florida in front of the sheriff's convention to let the sheriffs know that we want them to investigate TSA groping and sexual assaults.
Well, I mean, if an Austin cop goes in the airport and sticks his hands on a woman's breast or genitals, he's going to be charged.
Of course.
Why can the TSA do it?
They should. And the Libertarian Party, under the leadership of Adrian Wiley, have actually issued a request publicly, a press release and an official request of all sheriffs to investigate the TSA and take action, including arrests, if the TSA continues to do this kind of crap. And I'm actually speaking at that rally to let them know this is at least one sheriff here that agrees. No exemption for federal employees. No exception.
Well,
no exemption.
FBI can't stick their hands down your pants. I mean, they go in the pants. Yeah. FBI can't put you in a microwave oven. This is just a total federal power grab. I want to get into...
Well, I want to say one other thing that you mentioned already. You said this was an arrest situation. I have to tell you, Alex, that the groping or let me just call it what it is. The frisking, quote, the frisking that happens there is exactly the same as when you arrest somebody, except it gets a little bit, because I've been through it. I've asked them. I said, I'm not taking the picture. Frisk me, whatever you want to do. I'm not taking your picture because I fly all the time. I don't drive to these places I go. I fly. And so I wanted to see it. And I said, you know what? I spent 20 years in law enforcement. That's the exact same frisking, except you do too much in the crotch. That happens to someone who's arrested. So it gives a lot of credence to what you said, that it is an arrest situation. They are being treated exactly. Everyone that goes through TSA is treated exactly as if they were under arrest.
Or somebody going into Abu Ghraib, and that's where the scanners and all of this
even worse
got developed. The Pentagon intends this for the streets of America. Now, there's so many issues I want to get into with you, Sheriff Mack. But first off, just because we ended the last hour with this, what is your take on what's happening in Quartzsite?
Well, I need to tell you, you mentioned Oath Keepers earlier, and how a lot of government officials are getting really weary of Oath Keepers and me because we're out here saying that we should follow the Constitution. You took an oath and you should keep it. Stuart Rhodes has been asked to be a lawyer down there and help, I believe, Mayor Foster and Jennifer Jones. I know he's working with Jennifer Jones. I thought it was the mayor also. But anyway, Stuart Rhodes is their lawyer. And he's hopefully going to have a lot to report on that. The bottom line with Quartzsite is I think it is a typical indication and typical example of government run amok. It's a small area. It's a small town. And it shows a chief of police who absolutely thinks he's king and can do whatever he wants. And how is it that a mayor is fired who's elected by the people there? If the people want him removed, they can do it. But for him to be removed in this Gestapo-type fashion is absolutely deplorable.
Well, the truth is he's very popular, and it's because of reported corruption that's why they're acting so...
He's been fighting it. Yeah, he's been fighting and standing against the corruption.
What would you do if you were the sheriff in that county? Because the sheriff is empowered by the state constitution. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the cities are under that in constitutional power because they're a incorporated creation of the people. I mean, is it the governor, the state police? What would you do if you were the sheriff and the police are now arresting people for videotaping the city council building? Or
as sheriff, and I've certainly thought of this scenario before, and certainly this would be one of the worst case scenarios that a sheriff would want to have to address. But he has to. He is the ultimate constitutional authority there. It's his jurisdiction. I mean, it is. And I'm not sure which county Quartzsite is in. Somebody's going to have to fill me in on that. I'm not sure. I know that they're on the way west side, so it could be La Paz County or maybe even Yuma County. I'm not sure which one they're in.
I think it's Yuma, but
regardless of that, the county sheriff should be stepping in at this point. It's gotten way too out of control, and there's far too many constitutional violations. And I fear that if he doesn't, what county? It's La Paz County. Okay, I thought it was La Paz. And La Paz is the newest county also in the state, but it's a very small county, very small area. And the sheriff there should actually, take the bull by the horn and make sure that Mayor Foster's prediction does not come true. Somebody needs to come in there and settle this down before violence does happen. And somebody needs to put that chief of police in place. And an independent investigation needs to take place of that chief and that police.
Why do you think the state for a month has been sitting on its hands?
Because they're wimpy and they're go-along government. Let me tell anybody right now that might have any mistaken notion that Governor Jan Brewer is nothing but a rhino. She is nothing but a rhino. She's a go-along person. Her attack on the illegal alien problem notwithstanding. She's a politician.
And you were a sheriff in Arizona.
I know her very well, yes.
And you know her very well. And we can talk about the border situation as well. I want to get into the militarization of police, the bankruptcy of America. They admit they're getting U.S. troops ready to go up against citizens. What should sheriffs do when all this comes down? And your phone calls, military and police.